Okay, real question. Have you ever looked at somebody who makes the same money as you and wonder, how are they out there traveling and buying investment properties while you're just kind of like, where's my money going? Let's talk about that. I'm going to break down how two people with the exact same income can end up with completely different financial realities over the course of 20 years. And I promise, one small shift in your 20s and 30s can change everything. So, how do people with the same start end up in such different places? It's about the choices that they make. Let's use Sarah and Emily as our examples. They're both 25, making $65,000 a year. They live in the same city, they went to the same college, got the same degree, and they have the same job title. Sarah decides to live below her means. She takes advantage of the 401k that her employer gives her. She opens up a Roth IRA and reads a couple of books on financial literacy. And she builds a basic emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Emily, she's thinking, I finally have money. So she buys a new car, signs a lease for a nicer apartment, and starts going out more. It's not that Emily's bad with money. She's doing what a very normal 25-year-old would do who just came into money. That's basically exactly what I did when I started making money. Most of us just never learn how to manage money. It's not something that we're taught growing up. So it's not about guilt, it's just about becoming conscious of your spending habits and where your money is actually going. Which brings me to my next point, intentional living versus lifestyle creep. So we're fast forwarding 5 years. Now they're both 30 and they're both making $85,000 a year. Emily decides to upgrade again. Bigger apartment, designer bags. Still no investments. Sarah upgrades a little. She's a little older. She's like, I do enjoy the nicer things in life, but she intentionally keeps her costs low and her living expenses low. So essentially, she is keeping her fixed costs lower, but she is splurging a little bit here and there on the nicer things. She's investing $500 a month now, and she also started a side hustle. So a little recap on their financial situation at this point. Sarah has $45,000 in investments, and Emily has about $3,000 in savings, but her credit card debt is growing. And the truth is, making more money only helps you if you're actually able to keep more of it and save and invest that money. Lifestyle creep is real and it's sneaky because it looks so normal. So normal for you to get a nicer car. You get a nicer job, your friends and families might even encourage you to get a nicer place to live in or to buy a brand new car. It's very much normal in our society to start living to the max, like basically living as large as you possibly can with how much money that you have, because it's so easy to just put everything on a payment plan. And it's so much easier to impress others when you have these physical things like a car or a nice apartment. I think our society just values that a lot more. And you might even have friends and families encourage you to make these bad financial decisions because they're like, well, why not? You have the money. What are you saving it for? But if you have ambitious financial goals, it's important to remember like what actually aligns with your financial goals versus what doesn't. Not everything is going to be your cup of tea. Maybe you don't like designer bags, or maybe you do. But if that is the case, just recognize your priorities versus something that's not really important to you but might just seem important to everyone else. Like maybe you don't mind driving an old crappy car, but you do love designer bags and those are your priorities. And that's okay. Or maybe you really don't care about material items, but you love to travel. Again, these are different financial priorities that you just want to make sure that your financial life actually aligns with your financial goals. Which brings us to assets versus liabilities. Now they're 35 and Sarah buys a rental property. She's invested in index funds, she's got automated savings. Emily's still renting and she's still living paycheck to paycheck. She wants to buy property, but she doesn't have anything saved for a down payment and her credit is low. At this point, you can really start to see that Sarah's money is working for her. She's invested, she's bought assets that's actually generating income, and eventually will be able to provide for her and provide for her lifestyle. Whereas Emily is just working for her lifestyle. She's just working and keeping up with the lifestyle that she has. And this is how a lot of people get into this hole, this financial hole where you have all of these monthly payments. Maybe it's your car, maybe it's your nice apartment, maybe it's all of the things that you bought that you decided that you'll just make monthly payments on, or you put it on your credit card. And then all of these mini little monthly payments suddenly start to add up and you kind of find yourself in a situation where you're like, how did I get here? And You might feel overwhelmed, like, how do I get myself out of this? And this is how people with the same income can have opposite net worth. At 45, both of them are now making $110,000 a year. Sarah has nearly $800,000 in assets and investments, as well as real estate. Emily, she has no assets. In fact, she's wondering if she'll actually be able to retire. So what changed? It's not the job, it's not the income. It's actually the mindset and the habits. And this is what rich people do differently that helps them in the long run. They track their money, they know exactly where their money is going, and they live below their means on purpose, intentionally, so that they can invest the difference. They start investing early, and they often automate their investments as well. And they also invest in relatively safe investments. Nothing crazy, no get rich quick schemes or like day trading, just really safe, reliable options. And they practice delayed gratification, which is huge, as we saw in the case with Sarah and Emily. Getting into the practice of delayed gratification can really help you prioritize your financial goals rather than just being tempted by everything that you want to buy right now or getting that quick dopamine hit right now and putting yourself into a bad place financially. They also surround themselves with money-minded people or content. And nowadays it's so much easier for you to consume content. You can easily read a book, you can easily listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos, you can even watch short form content on financial literacy. You can watch people who are on their journey to financial freedom. And this is helpful because with financial literacy, there's a lot to learn. I always feel like there's so much more to learn. And the more you learn, the more you feel like, well, I really don't actually know anything. And there's so much more to learn. But also at one point, you get to a place where you feel like you have everything set up and you're going in the right direction. And at that point, it's not necessarily about knowledge. For example, with this video, it's a lot of you probably, if you're in the financial space, you're probably already familiar with a lot of the ideas that we discuss in this video. But sometimes it's more about the motivation. Like, I find myself consuming these kinds of content, not necessarily because I need to learn the basics of how to handle my money, but it's just nice to consume this kind of content and keep you motivated. Remember that most wealthy people, they're not living this flashy millionaire lifestyle that you see on social media. They're living smart and intentional. They're playing the long game. So if you're watching this video and you feel like Emily right now, don't stress. You're not behind, you're just getting started. Comment rich girl era if you're ready to enter your rich girl era and start building with what you've got. You have to start where you are right now. There's no other way, but you're just getting started. And it's very much possible to get your finances in order in a really short amount of time. I actually kind of wanted to do like a how to get your finances in order in 6 months video. So let me know if you guys want to see that. That's it for today's little video. I hope you liked it. Let me know what you guys want to see next, and I will see you next time. Bye!